Welcome to the Moorish Science Temple of America, District Branch Temple, number 43. All right, so we're going to continue with our series of Moorish psychology and the art of thinking. This is part 3, the formula. All right, we're going to get right into it. So I hope you guys enjoy this, learn something, get something, know how to think, and you can save yourself, the prophet said. All right, how's it going? Oh, you guys ready? Okay, we're going to get right on it. All right. So these two are constants. These are what you rely on. In other words, in your brain, these are the constants, right? So love, right? It's very important. Picture of this. Now, love is devotion too, right? We have to look at things. That's why it's always good to start opening up your vocabulary. But love is also devotion. But you know what? It's all. But it's truly from the point of view to get you to activate. It's the force, and you have to start understanding Allah. You have to start understanding, that particular power. So love is the force, right? Which is the will. What did it say? Let's specifically go there. It said 16, which is the will of Allah, right? Let me turn back real quick. Yeah, the force is the will of Allah. Force. All right, and it's directed by the breath. So force is the will of Allah, which is omnipotent, is directed by the breath. Breath means truth, obviously. So check that out, though. It's, right, it's directed by the breath. What is the breath? The breath, or it's I, it's truth, right? So that's it. That's why it's this. All right. So now, but love, what is this though? Let's get a little bit more. What is the force? What makes it so forceful? What makes it so potent? Right. So we went over a little bit of that before, but it is as they say, the 99 attributes. It's the 99 attributes of Allah. And in there, you'll find the most such and such, the greatest of such and such, the most potent things of, it's off the hook when you kind of put them all there. I'm not going to take up the whole page if I put them all the 99s here. But you have to go, like we did last time in the lesson, and remember, what is love? So remember the love lesson I gave. How do you become happy, or how, and things is that you have to activate love. You have to activate love in all that you do. And how do you do that? Is by tuning into the 99 attributes of Allah, because Allah is love. So it's nothing to have a mystery about. It's something to be devoted to. That's why love is devotion. If you ever want to know if somebody loves something, look what they paid the most attention to. I don't care what they tell. They can say anything out their mouth. Well, look what they're paying the most attention to. Then you're going to know what they love. All right, so it is the force, are these 99 attributes, which is in you, the constant part. Okay, still recording. All right, so that's why, love is there as a constant, it's in the center, and it's times truth, or it's always going to be, multiplied by the truth. It's going to be increased. That's why these are two particular things are like on the right side of the brain, or the left side more or less, but anyway. So, these two, all right? So your peace is over freedom for a specific purpose so that you can get the best result. So in other words, you have to divide your piece, right, which is the emotional part of you, which deals with social, it deals with people. And we're going to look at this in a minute, though. I'm just trying to give you a better understanding of where we're going, right? And you have to divide that between the F, or the freedom, which is the safekeeper. You always asking, how are we free? The protector, the organizer, the planner, you, right? The, takes preventive action, you. See, that's the safekeeper. It establishes procedures within you know what I'm saying? These are the good things about the part of you, right? It is the planner, like I said, the organizer, the reliable, the neat. It has to be neat and timely. Always that part of you that really knows how to be timely, right? So anyway, that's the freedom part. And you have to divide the people. In other words, your emotional part needs to be balanced too, and divided though by your more organized you, which will give you the result or the justice that you're looking for, or whatever goal you set. Now, we're not going to really look at this. It's just the opening part. All right, so let's turn to 5. Now that kind of laid the premise a little bit. Look at this a little bit better. All right. So, yeah, let's turn to 5. All right, sorry about that. All right, so let's look at 5. 5 is a very important one. A lot of people confuse this one with some Masonic understanding, when this is where they got their thing from, no doubt, because remember, these lessons were held back, right? And only a few people within high government, high particular areas, what you'll call Masonic or weird Illuminati stuff, right? People get spooked out about a word, people get spooked out behind things, and not knowing their own force and not knowing their own power. But anyway, that's not a Moor. We don't get scared when they say Illuminati. Start shaking in our boots. Nah. So anyway, so when you're looking at this chapter very important to comprehend. All right. So we're going to look here. Let's start somewhere. You can, very. Let's not look at that part. All right. So this is Jesus. At about the age of 12, beginning to teach, like it says in 6. The guards replied, yes, he is in the temple now, disputing with the doctors of law. That's Crown questionnaire number 43. All right, so what age did Jesus begin to teach? All right. So anyway, let's move down. And a lot of this is law. Everything here is law. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is a law. You're going to learn to use these laws to become a much better person. And actually, what you're actually seeing too is our educational system. All right, this is after we're done. Hopefully, I don't go on forever. See, right? But hopefully, we'll be in by 8. But you'll see that this is our educational system also. This is how we teach the youth and everything. And this is where we're going to go in a second now. All right, so when we're looking at, let's start off with this dig right on in here. So let's go to number 12. All right, so number 12 says, and this is Jesus when he's back with his peoples, and he's doing his thing. All right, so Jesus, number 12 says, one day as he was bringing forth the tools for work, he said, these tools remind me of the ones we handle in the workshop of the mind, right? Where things are made of thought and where we build up character. So important. What tools are we utilizing right now? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These are tools that you must use in the workshop of your mind. Right now, you're getting the understanding and the comprehension of how to utilize those tools. All right? So be mindful of that. And always be mindful of where you're at. All right, so we build up character, right? And so those tools that he brought forth we're bringing forth right now are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These tools, like, remind me of the ones we have in the workshop of the mind, we build up character. This is what we're doing here. We're building up our character because we have a European psychology. And we're letting go of the European psychology, and we're coming up and coming into our understanding of who we are, being ourselves, which is a Moorish psychology. All right, so let's move on. Now look at this. It says we use the square to measure our lines and to straighten out the crooked places of the way and make the corners of our conduct square. Okay, this is that freedom part of your mind. This is the left side of the brain. And it's more or less in that freedom part. All right, so the square is not something that you use that was meant for people to use physically other than to build a building, and things to this effect, right? But it's a symbolic meaning, right, when we're looking at the workshop of the mind, obviously. So don't get caught up on the physical symbol. But the understanding is the most important part that is there to represent. All right, so what part of your mind is the square representing? All right? You have to ask yourself that, and it's the freedom part. So number 15, we use the compass to draw circles around our passions and desires and keep them in the bounds of righteousness. Where are our passions and our desires mostly located? From the model, if you understand, right? I'll come back to that and draw it better for you. Don't try. All right. That's kind of really bad right there. This is too much. All right, excuse the unorthodoxy here. I'm trying to move at a little pace so I don't bore y'all. Now remember, you're still seeing your brain here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 levels to this thing. We're only gonna look at a few right now. We'll continue hopefully to get to the parts. All right, so remember, this is over here. This is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Okay, kind of stretch that thing out a little bit more. And do that right there. All right, so when we are looking at this formula, love times truth divided by P will equal J, or which is the formula to solve it is the overall formula to solve the best. It is the way to use the mind the best. In other words, it's a balance on utilizing the mind if you would use the formula in the order the formula is given. All right, so how do we do that? Right, like I explained before, if you are this particular person over here in your emotional self, that part, I kind of wrote these things down earlier. So that's the emotional, right? And oh yeah, kind of messed up a little bit here. All right, so don't forget that this over here is the who, this over here is the why, this over here is the what, and over here is the how. Remember, those are the things that your brain's constantly asking, constantly going through. All right, it's kind of a very ugly representation today. I don't really have it directly in front of me, so let me maybe do that. So when we're looking at this, right, we're trying to activate the force. When we're trying to activate the force, If you are this particular person who comes in on your emotional side, maybe your birth natal chart says that you have these particular characteristics, such as maybe a person who is a marketer, who likes tourism, who does good with people. Maybe you're in human resources, you're a teacher, a nurse, somebody in the medical field, a journalist, you know what I'm saying, social worker, psychiatrist, all these particular things, you know, those particular characteristic people come in on the D quadrant. Okay. Now, you may be that particular person, or you could be, you know, a lot more. We'll get there in a second. All right. But what I'm trying to get at is this, is that how to activate, though, if you're the speed, like we said before, right? You have to start with you. You have to be honest to who you are with yourself and know exactly, you know, kind of where you are. Because there's a fundamental question here that is being, you know, you're trying to answer here. I did put it down somewhere. It's in the Quran, right? And what we're doing when we're moving through life is asking, you know, what is our purpose, right? But what are the conditions? What are the conditions? What are the conditions around you, right? And it says in the Quran, when you're able to understand your condition, that's when conditions change. In other words, if you can understand the condition, you can start to do something about it. So certain people have a condition in their finance. Certain people have a condition in their social behavior. People have a condition in their mental and physical, right? Their physical body, or maybe the mental stability of their mind, right? All of these things are the conditions that you must pinpoint and be honest with yourself. And when you are that, then you can move from what you are naturally at to love. Now, right? So here you're going to obviously move to love. Now you're going to activate the force. What is the force again? It's the 99 attributes. Where are you trying to go? I want to be wise. I want to be peaceful. If you look at the attributes, it's all there. You got to ask yourself, what do you want to, what is it? All right. So all of that. So anyway, that comes with it. Well, the first thing then, right, is to hit the truth. Is to multiply that by the truth. What is the truth? This is the reason. And as what? This is the reason side. Facts. Right? It's the, like we said before, or like I was trying to explain before, it's the one that needs the facts. Let's just keep it really simple right now. Right? So the reason is because you want to go to the truth. You want to deal with the truth of things. That's why it's always the what question. That's why it's always looking for the facts. That's why it's a technician trying to break down something to see if it's real or not. All right. So now the P is, where that particular person's at, right? But peace, mostly, and first and foremost, peace deals with your resolution. It deals with you. First, foremost, the only peace starts with you. If there's no peace with you, you can never find any peace around you. You're always looking to blame or something, right? And usually, right, it's because of, on the emotional part, something happened, right? A situation that deals with people that brings the majority of people out of peace, all right? This is why it's on the emotional side. Now you have to, start to utilize certain things. Obviously you got your facts. Now you want to get the social part, or you want to get more dynamic with your social part of you instead of just, and that deals with relationships. So let me move on the circle a little bit and come over here, right? Because this is relationships. Very important. That's huge. That's everything. Relationships come in, companion or a friend, and then companion, right? And then there's those meaningful relationships. Then there's those meaningful relationships right there. Let's fill in these over here. What was this one? This is the big picture person. And that one too, you know, that's the future you. Don't forget that part. It loves the results. All right, this one over here would be the safekeeping. Or a better one to, you know, organizer, protector. Now in here, all right, I want to give a little too, because there's this particular beauty. Belief, faith, and fruition. So belief is on these two. It splits. So belief is in C and in B. All right. Faith is over here in F, or is in B quadrant. It deals with the truth. It deals with to know. Right. Start to know things and organize things around you. Now fruition is over here in the truth. It is the facts base, is that which is that what you come to do. And then this is always the future part of you, looking forward in the future. This is always looking forward to the future, because it's justice is looking for the result. All right, when you can get the basics parts of the map out, then you can begin to control the force. All right, so I know I'm gonna do a way better job on Sunday, maybe drawing it all out for you. Just trying to give you a basic comprehension from the Quran right now. All right, so when it says in chapter 5, right, we use the hammer to drive home the truth and pound it until it's a part of every part. This is why you need to move from love to truth, love times truth, because it needs to become the pounding, right? It is the hammer to drive home the truth, because truth is where reality is. That's why it's so important to strengthen that part of your mind, to not just rely on what people say, but to go get the facts on what they say. That's why the Quran says, man knows not by being told. But you have to activate your brain. You got to start using these, like they're just little, you know, fancy sayings, and start learning how to use the brain, right? So you got to know, if you're beginning to think on something, move from where you're thinking to love. And ask yourself, what are the facts about what I'm going through? In other words, I'm going to times this love or my devotion to something. I want to get a business. All right, cool, right? What type of business? What question? Facts. This is truth. So love times truth, right? Now your P. I may need more information. You may want to call somebody. You may want to get other people involved. The social, but that has to be balanced by your organization, the freedom you, the safekeeping you. Now, the more information, in other words, the more information you have in it, it's able to process through the brain correctly, you're going to get the probability out there, a 99.9 probability that the thing you're going to do is going to have success. That's the J, the justice, always looking for the results, always looking for the big picture, right? It is the one who, it's the infer, the take it. That's the part of you that takes risks. This is the curious person. This is the imaginative part of you. This is the strategizing part of you, right? So this particular part needs something to move forward on. It's called purpose in life, right? So to get your purpose is always use the formula. You have to activate the force by going to love from where you're at. Is this making sense so far? So I'm trying to really get a little bit clear on certain things here. I know I went over some of this, but are y'all with me on the love times truth, peace part?
Yes, Mom.
Because if you're not, say something and I'll try to give a better understanding of this. All right, so this is home. This is community. And a few things go in there. This becomes jobs. This becomes skills. professional, professionalism. All right, this is yeah, this is like family, future again. You know, wife, husband for the sisters, you know, and you know, things like that, right? Business, maybe a business, own a business. Right? So these are the things you're looking for. The other parts that come with this, then on your 7-layer circle of your mind and how to structure correctly to get the things that you're looking for. There's actually laws behind this. And if you would get the laws, that there's nothing we won't be able to do. But due to the fact we have a European psychology, we have this blockage. It's called trauma. Most people, it's trauma. And when I say molested, doesn't mean that you were just touched. You know, molestation can take in the form of social trauma. All right, so you have to understand that. All right, so anyway, moving out on your brain from the center out, it's like a ripple in the pond. As soon as you activate the force or love, it begins to do, it's like you know, when you drop a pebble in the pond, it begins to do these particular ripples, right? It's kind of like the same thing, but you got to activate it. It's like activating a sound that penetrates in every direction from the out, you know, from the inward out in all directions. That's kind of like, you know, what this love force will do, properly formed here. All right, so let me try to give you a few more, like at least one more. All right. So there's a lot more to go in all this, and I'm gonna do a huge one, maybe later. So this over here actually goes to commercial law. And I know it sounds crazy. And this is moral laws. Right. This over here would be the laws of nations, or vine and fig tree. This one over here would be natural law. Your next circle then. Uh-oh. Oh shoot, wow, look at that. Look at that. No, this is a little boring because it's like class. Y'all want me up here screaming and hollering all the time and getting excited. I can do that. I can do that too for you. But anyway, not today. All right, so the other part of this, right, is, it's pretty deep. But anyway, so let's move into it really. All right, so this becomes, when you understand this part, you can get into family estate, right? Family enterprise. This one becomes more or less like your team, your management team. This also is councils. This one is government affairs or society. Government affairs, development, a bunch of stuff, right? This one over here, what was this one? Oh yeah, this is your experts. Expert. Right, these are your these are your experts. These would be like, the think tank people that you would kind of get together. And things to this effect, right? All right, so